Hey guys, welcome to Experience Design. Today I want to talk about 7 drivers of engagement. Why is this topic important? It's important to understand what motivates designers and what drives them to be personally invested in their work so that they can craft an impactful customer experience. So, how do we create an environment where designers could thrive, whether they're working from home, remotely, or on the go, or maybe using a hybrid model? You could be a head of design, maybe a UX chapter lead, UX designer or a visual designer. We're all faced with this challenge in our design teams. So I want us to take a look at these 7 drivers of engagement and share how you can use them to improve engagement in your design team. So the first thing is, we set up a voting poll, and we've done this using MS Teams. You can use, any mechanism, even something as basic as Excel spreadsheet, anything, that will have some level of anonymity in the process, right? Using a scale of 1 to 10, just so that we can track those granular votes. Okay, cool. So basically, at a very high level, we want each designer to share how they feel under a particular period of time. So we do this thing 4 times a year. This is the first quarter, and then once they share how they feel about each driver of engagement, which I'll talk about shortly, then we also ask them, what is it that can be done, right, to make them feel better. So the first thing is, you're gonna have a list of your designers, and for each driver of engagement, under freedom, recognition, growth, and so forth, you have 3 votes. Let's talk about each driver, right? What does freedom mean, right? It's really about a designer feeling that they have a freedom and flexibility to choose how they do their work, right? Even though we've got guidelines, even though we've got templates, maybe design systems, etc., right? But they must feel that there's a level of freedom, for them to reimagine, an ideal customer experience. So if we to zoom into the detail, right, in terms of how we gather the feedback, right, based on the on the voting, we would visualize the summary, and just so at least you can see, out of between a scale of 1 to 10, how are people feeling. This is not about trying to achieve 10 out of 10. It's really about how they feel honestly, and sometimes a 5 is better than a 10, it's better than an 8, right? So it's about understanding, the level of engagement that is ideal for them to be able to perform at an optimum level. Okay, so in this case, we ask them, what makes you feel that you don't have enough freedom, right? There's a comment saying here, some of the suggestions made ahead but not implemented. Business requirements can conflict with design systems, etc., right? So you will have a number of the stickies, right, about what's not done enough, and then at the bottom here you will have these green stickers that indicates what can be done to make them feel better, right? So each designer will write down what can be done, and then once they're done, people will use their 3 votes under freedom to vote, and at the end of this engagement would actually focus on the most voted, maybe the top 3 things. So this one here, it's about how they're feeling right now, and here at the bottom it's about how they would love to feel, right? So that we can see how big that gap is. So recognition. So how does a designer feel? Okay, do they feel that they are continuously learning and developing their talent and capability? Same exercise, I'm not going to go into details. Togetherness, right? Do they feel that they're trusted and supported in the team? Do they feel that, together, especially, a lot of us, we work remotely, we've got teams, like in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Kenya, Nigeria, and so forth, right? And those who are in South Africa, it's easy for us to meet, once in a while. But how do we still keep that culture of togetherness? Yeah, same thing. I'm not going to go into details. And then there's the voice. Do others listen? Do they respect what a designer have to say, right? Do they feel that when they talk, we listen and we take their opinions into consideration, etc. Challenge. Do you feel that your work is challenging enough? And we also need to listen and understand what challenge means for each designer, or also what it means for a team as a whole. Okay, I'm gonna skip those details. Same format, right? Clarity. Do they clearly understand the work that they're doing? Do they feel that there's purpose in their work? And also, do they see the value and the impact that they bring to the customer, right? Do they see a positive business outcome, and so forth? Same story. I'll skip. Growth. Do they feel that they constantly learn in the environment, that they are developing their talent and capability, right, to become a better designer, so that they can position themselves for promotion, for recognition, etc., right? And this can be achieved through the continuous work that they do in the delivery streams, or maybe during the hackathon activities that we have, etc. Okay, same story. I'll skip. So once we've done all of that stuff, right, and each designer needs to ask him or herself, right, or themselves, how am I feeling, right, against the team? It's not a competition. It's just to gauge, okay, relatively, this is where I'm at, right? Maybe in terms of freedom, I want to achieve level 7. Maybe I was at 5, or whatever the case is, right? And this person, Dogozo, for instance, she wants to catch up catch up with the team, so that she can feel confident enough to highlight suggestions and hear what support does she need to achieve that level. Shadow the app team once every 2 weeks to contribute to their work, right? So this is basically the format, right? Description of the driver of engagement. This is my team target. This is my target as an individual. This is what I can do. This is the kind of support that I need, right? The format is really the same for all of them, right? If we were to track, Dogozo, right, over the 4 quarters, right, we could see, okay, in the beginning of the year, right, in terms of freedom, the team was at 5. She was at level 6 challenge. That's and for the team it's at 7. For her it's at 5, right? So the question is like, okay, the team feels challenged and she's at level 5. Is she happy with that? Maybe she wants to get work that is a bit more challenging for her. What can you do to support her, etc.? Maybe the level of challenge is good enough, right? Again, as I said, it's not about achieving 10. It's not about comparing if 10 and 8 is good, right? But it's just a relative measure for individual to ask themselves, right? Am I happy? Like for instance, togetherness. If you're not a social person, you're a bit introverted, you wouldn't want to achieve level 10 or 8, right? Maybe you'd be happy that the team's at level 7 and you're at 6. Maybe you want to go to 5, right? For you to be able to find that balance, right, internally as a designer. So basically we track this, right, like over that over a year period. And so we'll have these one-on-ones, and also like design retro sessions where we listen to the team, we gather the feedback, and give guidance and advice.